Hello guys. So I made this tutorial for beginners. There's a lot of good stuff also for intermediate players and even some stuff that maybe some people don't do yet. I hope you enjoy. It's a big one. Have fun. Oh. So the goal of the game is to be the faction that controls this middle harvester at the end of the season. You get some rewards, some skins, some titles, and some avatars and frames. So for let's say on your account forever. How do you get to conquer this server set? You need to have this server that is connected to it. How to conquer this server set? You need to have this servers that is connected to it. So you see where I am going. Where you start only with these territories, you start conquering the first harvester, second, third, and you make your way there. When you conquer harvester, you also get some extra starfall tokens every day per each harvester that your warband controls. This is the warband that controls the harvester. Here you see that most harvesters are controlled by this warband, the nameless, and this one, for example, is controlled by IPU. Okay, now how do you conquer an harvester? Harvesters are only conquerable during wartime. There's a wartime starting in 6 hours. When it is wartime, you can come here, you drop something called a demolisher that you build here. You've got melee demolishers or ranged demolishers. You drop them there, and they make their way to the middle of the harvester itself, and they destroy it. You might need to kill some bosses around the harvester itself. So, not only you need to have an adjacent territory already conquered or harvested, you also need to have the harvester at level 3. So it says here can conquer adjacent harvester hubs. How do you know what level it is? By the blue dots. This one is level 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's why you see these arrows. It's the harvesters that can be conquered. Next war. Can conquer this one or this one. Okay. This is a fortress that, when conquered, allow you to go with your driftmark to the next territories. You can always walk around from the start everywhere, but with the driftmarks, you need to have the bridges conquered. How do you level up the harvester? You will need something called orbs. Let me see. Right now, there, there is a green one here. Okay. So green ones increase energy by 2, blue ones increase energy by 10, and yellow ones increase energy by 100. So to get the harvesters to level 3, you will need 200 energy. So you will need 2 legendary orbs, for example, or 20 blue ones, or a lot of green ones. Okay, so you get here when the time runs out, you take it, you need to go by foot, and you deposit on an harvester that is like level 2. So you can then get to level 3 and then conquer the next one. So how about the world? The world is open. So you can go everywhere at any time. As soon as you start, you can already be going anywhere in the map. You just can't go with your drift mark. You just need to go by foot, okay? Or with a mount. You can attack players from other factions, other colors at any time, and you are able to be attacked by any players of any other faction. What do you drop? You always drop half of your inventory, what you have on your inventory, and depending on where you are in the map, you drop from 1 to 3 equipments. Uh, in tier 4 to tier 6 zones, you have a 50% chance to drop one equipment. In tier 6 to 7, you always drop one. You can read it here. So, scrap posts. This is where you will make most of your money. There are small scrap posts, there are medium scrap posts, and there are large scrap posts. You should try to make the most of it. Try to solo the small scrap posts and try to get a group of 3, 4, 5 people to do the medium scrap posts. If you see 30, 40 people doing a small scrap post, even a medium scrap post, it's not worth it. Because if there are 30 people doing this scrap post, there will be 100k per person. If you are soloing this one, which will take less time, you'll get 232 per person. Also, these rewards are not guaranteed, the other ones, the non-starfall ones. But if you get those, these are super valuable. They sell for solar bytes and you can use them. Does scrap posts work? You need to kill all these mobs and there is a boss. For example, this one, it's a double boss one. So you, depending on your class, you can maybe solo it, maybe not, depending on your level too. But try to always bring the least amount of people to do the scrap posts, because there's more loot for you. After everything is cleared, this chest will open. After the chest open, you can loot and be on your way. So, how does the skills work? You will have your auto attack skill, your W skill, your E skill, your drifter skill, your chest skill, and your boot skill. So first, the first two will be determined by the type of weapon you have. Okay? So what is the type of weapon? The type of weapon is this. All of these are of the same type. All of these are of the same type. If you press this one, you have the choice of your auto attack and your W skill. If you press any other on this group, the choice will be the same. This choice will always be the same. Okay, you can choose. If you have one weapon of that type equipped, you can choose any of these. You can choose this as your auto attack, and this as your W, and you can choose any other. If I had equipped any other weapon of that type, it would be the same choices. Okay, now your E ability. Your E ability will be determined by the weapon itself, not the kind of weapon, but the weapon itself. Uh, Here I have the Guardian Embrace, and the Guardian Embrace gives me this skill. That's a skill that jumps. If I was going on the same family of weapons, if I go to this weapon, the E ability will be different. The first will be the same choices, the auto attack and the Ws will be the same choices, but the E is always determined by the weapon. Now, the drifter ability. This ability will be determined by the type of drifter you have right now equipped. Right now I have Vesk equipped. Yeah, her ability is this one. Okay, you can have up to 3 drifters in the end game that are ready to be changed. So like a loadout, this is a loadout, this is another loadout. I can change for this one anywhere in the map, but I can only set this to be Raven in this case, or set this to be Vesca in this case at the driftmark. Okay. Also, each drifter will have a passive. You can see the active and the passive on each drifter. Okay. There's the passive. Now, the chest skill will be determined by the chest. See here, this skill is because I have this chest equipped. This skill is because I have these boots equipped. Now, also, there is a second passive that will be determined by which head you have equipped. This head is giving me this passive. Then there is also the potion slot that will be determined by what you have equipped in the potion slot. You can equip food or potions. You can overcharge at any time. That will give you, now I have, for example, 12,000 HP. If I click it, I get 12,400. It will give you a boost for everything, a small boost, but when it is over, you will lose 15% durability on your equipment. If you die, you will also lose that durability. Then you have a drone. The drone is something you spawn, and it will make damage, a good amount of damage actually, to anything you are attacking. And you can spawn the drone anywhere that you have either your driftmark or an outpost, or it's a territory of your faction. Okay. Now, where do you get the armor? Right. So you can buy it directly on the auction house for solar byte. I strongly recommend against it. Never do that. What you do is you buy the unlock material for the solar byte that it costs at the time, and with the unlock materials you get here in the equipment training, and you unlock what you want. I need 5 intelligence weapon blueprint for this one, and this you'll get a lot of those. It's the data fragments, don't worry about this. This one will be expensive, and these ones, for the legendary ones, they need specific ones, these will be super expensive. But anyway, if you are spending your solar byte buying one weapon, the weapon itself, you will never get to the point that you will have enough solar byte to buy the blueprint itself. And when you have the blueprint, that's something that stays for the next season. So while you will lose the weapon, you won't lose the unlocked weapon for the next season. So it's very much important. Then when you have unlocked, I can buy the spear here for Starfall tokens. So how do you get stronger? First of all, there's the level. There's level 38. You increase this level by killing mobs. It's a count-wide. You get it automatically. There's a maximum that keeps increasing every couple days. Okay. Don't worry about it. It's count-wide. You don't need to click anything. Now, there are you can increase your power by having Drifter Mastery, and also by having Weapon Mastery. Okay. For example, if you see here, this weapon has 33 mastery. These weapons have 0 mastery. Can increase the mastery here because I have some books, and you can increase here the weapon mastery. It will give you power, and the attack of the weapon will be based on this power. You attack and heal. So the higher it is, the better it is. If you don't have books and you can do it like I was just doing it, you need to have the weapon equipped and go kill mobs. The drifter, so that's for weapons. That's for everything: weapons, boots, chest, and head. The drifter itself has a mastery level. Hive Queen is on level 1. You have to have Hive Queen equipped and kill some mobs so the drifter level can increase. The mastery, sorry. So when you increase the mastery of the drifter, you get some stats. The amount of stats you get, it's always here. So, for example, Hive Queen will get 2 intelligence, 1 agility, and 1.1 strength every time the mastery increases. Okay, so I'm just increasing 34 to 36. And this is all it gets. There is also the battle infusions. This everything that I've been talking so far, it will reset every season. But battle infusions will stay season by season. Okay, so this is something that is very expensive and very powerful. You should always upgrade this on the drifter that you are planning to use next season too. Okay, because this is super expensive. It might not look like it, but getting battle scars is very difficult, and you can pay straight up. Oh my god, how this is called? Eclipsium can pay straight up Eclipsium if you don't have the battle scars. It will use Eclipsium instead of the battle scars, and you can infuse. But as you know, Eclipsium is I don't know how they will do it, but it is very difficult to get. So do it carefully. Okay, I don't have this. Why are battle scars so important? Because on these big nodes, it will give 10 assignable tribute points. So 10 intelligence or 10 edge or 10 strength, you will choose then. So you can get 10, 20, 30, 40. I hope they nerf it because it's too OP in my opinion. But yeah, and these ones give 2 of each, these small little nodes. But yeah, I hope they nerf it because it's too much. Okay, so just to recapitulate, if you want to increase mastery, both in Drifter, this says no mastery, still level on mastery. The weapon, it is a weapon that is equipped. You need to have the Drifter equipped, the weapon equipped, the head equipped, the chest equipped, the boots equipped. If you have everything equipped, when you kill a mob, you will get XP for the drifter, the boots, the weapon, the chest, and the head. So, what kind of armor should you build? The only difference is on the armor itself, coat or robe. Because the helm, it doesn't matter if it's strength armor, agility armor, intelligence armor. The only thing that changes is the passive itself. You remember, helmets give the passive. The boots also gives the same thing to everyone. They give mana points recovery bonus on the agility armor and on the intelligence armor, but the stats that matter are the same: 1000 HP, 1000 HP, 1000 HP. What really changes is only the skills. Now, the armor, so the chest itself, that's a different story. Because the strength armor gives you armor and magic resist, gives a lot. For example, this is a 5, 6, 7 tier. So tier 7, 4, 4, 3. This here, tier 7, way less, but gives you damage. We'll get there. Robe gives you even less. Tier 7 even less, but gives you much more damage. Now, armor and magic resist. Is it important to have? No, it's fake. It only starts to be important when you are late game, when you are very late game, because it scales. Imagine if it gives you 50% damage reduction, that's what it gives you at mid game. That's like it doubles your health. But at the end game, it starts to give you closer to the 60%, and then it gives you more. So, in sum, just go for this if you like the skill itself. If you like the skill itself, okay? If you really want a skill that is here, go for it. If not, always go for intelligence armor, because intelligence armor gives you 56% base damage and healing bonus. So yeah, always go for this, unless you really want the active of the armor. Again, this is only for the chest. So another really important thing is mods, which are these things that are here. You can have one mod for the weapon, for the head, the chest, and the boots. The mods don't really link with the gear. It's just extra stuff that you have, okay? How do you get mods? You get something called a mod core. You can get mod cores from various different places. You can buy with various different currencies. You can drop them from the scrap posts, etc. When you have them, you just come here and you produce. That will give you a random one. These mods will stay for the next season, so it's always a good thing to invest. So most mods are pretty general, but some will say here only for ice conduits or only for spears. So when you have that mod, you know that if you have it equipped, it will only work with a weapon it say it is working. Now, when you can come here to synthesis and if you have too many mods, if you are not filled with mods on all your three drifters, don't do this. But when all three drifters are already filled and you have an overload of mods that you are not using, you just click all the ones that you don't need and you create a higher tier one. Okay? You can do the same with the legendary. You click 3 random purple ones and you create a legendary one. So the trash ones, they every time you produce a mod, they will come with quality. Let's say in this case, the trigger rate could go from 15% to 30%. I got very lucky, and it was 30%. And the armor could go from -4 to -20. I got -10. This rolled pretty well, so I would keep it if it would be a mod that I would find necessary and good for my builds, or if I have not yet filled all the mods. So currency. There's 6 types of currency: Starfall tokens, Exergy, faction medals, PvP medals, Solar Bite, and Eclipsium. First, the Starfall tokens. You use them to buy your gear, okay? Your gear and some consumables. The turret, the team rally matrix that allows you to teleport teammates to where you are. You need to be out of combat. Turret, you place it. And later you will also be able to buy spikes to put on the floor. Then the exergy is mostly used for research. It's very important. This exergy you will be needing a lot early game. Now the faction medals and the PvP medals are used to buy items. The faction medals are used to buy exergy, starfall tokens, and some other stuff. This is not very important. You can buy equipment and drifter experience if you are behind, but I wouldn't use for it unless you have too much. Now, you should always buy these mods, the blueprints when you need them, especially early game, and eventually scars for the long game. PvP medals are used for war supplies. This is great because they are very cheap. You easily get PvP medals, and you buy these potions that are super powerful, way more powerful than food. And the thing is, when you have them, that's why I have so many, ignore the rest. But when you see the lock, if you die, you don't drop them. Even if you have them equipped, if you die, they will stay on you. Solar Byte. Solar Byte is used for the auction house. The auction house sells all the legendary weapons, so the yellow ones. If you drop a yellow weapon, you should always come to the auction house and sell it here. I can buy here the yellow weapon for Starfall tokens. If for some reason you have a lot of Starfall tokens from farming the map and you are low on Solar Byte and you want to make Solar Byte, you can get here if you have it unlocked and you buy a yellow weapon, and then you go to the auction house and you can sell that yellow weapon for some Solar Byte. Okay, this is worth sometimes. Sometimes it's not. It's just a matter of you checking the market. How about Eclipsium? Eclipsium is mostly used to unlock the drifters, but you can also use it here for some blueprints. I wouldn't use anything here unless you have too much of it. Um, but it is necessary for the drifters. There is also void exergy tokens that you will get during an event. You'll know the event is going on because it will be in this banner. Okay, this is the banner that is telling which event is going on. Every day there will be a new event. So when the event is for the void exergy, you go, you kill the mobs, and you have this currency, and you can buy very good currency to have because you can buy legendary blueprints, which are very, very valuable, and even mod cores. But special legendary blueprints here. I wouldn't buy anything else here unless you really need to, but I doubt it. Then there is one last currency, which is the Vein Old currency. Vein Old is from this event that will be every 2 days, I think, where you will go in and you will have a battle royale versus other people, and you will catch some of these tokens. Then these tokens can be used to buy anything from here. Again, legendary equipment, very important to get. Depending on what you already have, you might want to use it here, but I would also go for this first. So at the end of the season, what do we keep? We keep the Eclipsium, we keep the Solar Byte, we keep all the skins that we have obtained, and we keep the blueprints that we have unlocked. For example, here, if I have this unlocked, I will keep them. For example, here I spent some legendary blueprints, which are very expensive, to unlock the Phantom Spear. Next season, I can play with it. I don't need to unlock it again. So, your driftmark. Right now, we are inside the driftmark. This is the driftmark console. This is what lets you pick up the driftmark, repair it if it has been attacked, or get in bunker mode when you need to go away from the game for 2 days and you don't want it to get destroyed. This is also where you upgrade its tier. This should always be upgrading because it's very important. It's the thing that will allow to get your drifter at a high tier, which is one of the most important things to be powerful. Now, you can relocate it. When you start, you will move it. Always have it as close to the exergy veins as possible, unless there is a reason for PvP, because the drift marks have some protections. And sometimes your warband will tell you move your drift mark certain place, because by moving your drift mark with this thing that is the Tesla coils that they have in important objective, the drift mark itself will help you defend a spot. Every time you move your drift mark for closer to a new vein, you need to come here and press here so it starts mining this one, or else it will keep mining the one where you were before, and it's going to be so far extremely not effective. So don't forget to come here. Now, inside the drift mark, we have the storage, where you store all your things. We have the transport network, where you can click it, and then you can click anywhere your faction controls, any harvester, and the drift mark of your warband itself, and it will spawn outside a ride to take you there. This ride can be attacked. If you are here, it has a lot of armor and magic resist, but it can be attacked by enemies. So be careful. Then you have the extractor. It just stays there. It just tells you how much you are extracting. So you can check when you are far away that it will be less. You have the siege constructor, where you will build your demolishers and your turrets and your spike traps, your improved ones, because the regular turrets and the regular spike traps, you will buy them from the auction house. This is where you make the research. So in development, these two will always be there, so don't worry. Now, second drifter allows you to have your second loadout, very important. These two are extremely important. Need to have these two always as a number one priority. This one lets you increase your drifter tier, and this one allows you to buy on the auction house higher tier weapons. So very important. This one is for turrets, very important too, but always prioritize this. Equipment production, if you are not going to do it, don't even unlock it. I never unlocked that. But yeah, then your third drifter, do it as soon as you can. But yeah, these two are the most important. On combat, if you are only playing intelligence drifters, you should only go for intelligence and strength. If you are playing range, you go range. If you are playing melee, you go melee. If you are playing one of each drifter, you go everything a little bit. Then it's pretty much self-explanatory. If you are using a drifter with skills, you go skill crit. If you are using a spear or a bow or a gun weapon, you go for basic attack crit. These two are always great. Then here again, it's depending on what you are doing. You need to know if you are doing healing, go healing. If you are doing magic damage, go here. If you are doing physical damage, you go there. You need to, it is self-explanatory. Now, the researches, there, resources, there is some things that you need to be careful. Your exergy mining bot needs to be I mean, you can't even mine if it's not at the level, at the tier of the exergy vein that you are trying to mine. Sorry. But very important is sometimes you are mining it, but you are not mining it at full gains. You need to get here and check if the go outside and see what level is the vein that you are mining. Mine is tier 6. Then go here and check it. I guess vein tier that yields full gains, tier 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm fine. And gathering skill is also good if you have extra money, but it's not super important. It's just so you can gather more protein and resin when you are doing the farming. Inventory expansion, a couple, you will see if you need. Mount HP, it's very important because when you are walking around, if you get hit by a mob, your mount will lose the HP instantly and you get unmounted. And then you can only mount after some seconds. So right here you have the mount XP, 4,800. If you come here and you increase it, um, 5,600. It's a good amount. So if you have extra money, go for it. Boost station, never do it unless you are going to sell boosts. Boosts are okay, I'll spell in boosts now. Boosts are something that you pay protein and starfall tokens to get an increase in a certain stat. If you as a player, you can create a boost station. It's this syringes one, and uh, you put their protein, and then the other players can go there, pay some of their own protein and some starfall, and get an injection. Injection is like plus 15 to 30 strength and minus 9 to 15 agility and minus 9 to 15 intelligence. So it's always worth it. There are other types of boosts, like for critical hits, etc. So it's always worth. But this technology is just so you can be someone that has a boost station to sell to other players to make Starfall money. Never do that. You can be one guy trying to do that. It's fine. Harvester bot is something that you put on a forest or on a place with scrap that will automatically mine trees or scrap for you. But you need to go there to get it, like here. This scrap. When the game full releases, these spots will always be perma farming. So I don't even know if that's that good to put there an harvester bot. Then juvenile generator doesn't matter, just so you can craft a thing to give to the warband so they can have war mounts. Doesn't matter if someone needs it, your warband will tell you to do that, but yeah, it doesn't matter. It's super expensive normally. Mount sprint speed, relatively important. It's good. It's good. It's lets you keep up. It's an in-game stuff and lets you run away. Mount. This gives you a jetpack. It's only a skin, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they are going to do something with this, but right now it's just a skin. I'm pretty sure. And you have the incendiary bomb receipt, so you can build them. Yeah, don't worry about this. Don't do it. They are trash. It's better to just do a demolisher. Um, then your drone, the thing that you can activate when you have a drift mark, an outpost, or your faction controls that territory, increases the amount of damage it does, and in the later levels, the drone starts also healing you. It's good if you have the stuff to do, but it's not the most important because they die pretty fast, but it's good. This is very important because it lets you make the potions with the protein in your supply depot. This is very important for mainly for the big wars. No, it's not important for if you are solo, but when your warband asks you to bring barbed wire, you should always have this research highly, because the higher it is researched, the better the barbed wire is, and yeah. Defense turret, it depends if you have the money, do it. Like this one, it's important, but it's not a priority like the other two, you know, the other two. But if you have the money, do. This is the turret that's on your drift mark that helps you defend, and sometimes your warband might tell you to put your drift mark defending a certain zone, and the higher this is, the higher damage is. Siege devices also needs to be pretty high. This is so you can create higher tiers of the siege weaponry that you can do here. Your warband will ask you to bring the higher as you can afford. Of course, if you can't afford much, doesn't matter to have the research because they will get expensive. Like a tier 9 will start to cost close to 1 million. This is not good. It's just so you can repair or destroy with a gun, but no one uses this. Maybe it changes in the future, but right now no one uses. This is for a shield for your drift mark. So when someone is attacking your drift mark with demolishers, it is harder. This is heartbeat detector, so you can build heartbeat detectors. Which is amazing. Heartbeat detectors are so good because it's like map cheat because it will tell you where all the enemies are. It will cost some resin that comes from trees, scrap iron that comes from the scrap spots. Take this, you claim it, and you can build them. You can always buy them for solar bytes, but if you use that, it's very expensive. So maybe it's even more worth to buy for solar bytes. Now, if there would be any enemies in this map, it would show some dots. Only the map you are. You need to go to this map, so it shows the dots on this map. The range demolishers, we have the range demolishers. Your warband will tell you bring range demolishers or bring melee demolishers. Sentry bot, it's a big bot that is very powerful, but it's very expensive. I mean, do it if you have a lot of money, because it's very good for your guild to have this going around. But it's super expensive. Look, it's 300 scrap iron, 150 resin, turret that you need to buy from the auction house. And yeah, it's super expensive. Like spike traps, this is the ones that you need, that I said that it's very important to have the research maxed out because they are very cheap, and when the research is very high, they become much stronger. They have much more hit points. So yeah, it's this thing if you don't know. But when you go in an enemy one, you start taking a lot of damage. Everyone thinks that's not. It's a lot of damage when you go through it, and it slows you. This is the demolisher that's used to kill drift marks, enemy drift marks. You will start walking automatically in the direction of the nearest attackable thing, even if it's a drift mark or if it is a conquerable harvester, only during war, of course. Now, this is driftmark durability, gives you more HP for a driftmark. It's dying, it's very expensive, so if you have the money, do it. Not a priority. This is never a priority unless your warband tells you that they need. This is for the thing that helps your drift marks. All of this from here, it's not worth it unless it's very specific for the situation. Guardian rune is for taking the harvester guardians. This is to help you the defenses on the little map that you are, or the defenses of all the drift marks of your faction. I think it's faction, not on Warborne. Sour explosive lets you build a sour explosive. That's something that you plant, like on Counter Strike, and then if it's not diffused in some time, like 3 minutes, it does damage in a small area, damage to a lot of damage to players and stuff, and also does damage to the attackable things like drift marks and guard harvesters themselves. It's not very used, don't worry about that. Field repair, it's to repair your warband. You need to have the gun, the high energy welding gun. Then you need to have this to build these thingies. It's not worth it. It's super expensive. Don't do it. Don't tell your warband I said that, but don't worry about this unless someone literally asks you for it. This is the same thing. It's to it does damage too, but it's to repair. So this is where you upgrade your drifter tier. To get a drifter tier 9, for example, you need to first have the drift mark level 9, then you need to research the maximum drifter tier to tier 9, and then you can come here and upgrade, let's say this one, to the tier that you can right now. Upgrading your drifter tier will give you mastery level cap, so you can have higher drifter mastery, and it will give you 10 additional attribute points that you can put on strength, intelligence, or agility. So the support station, it's where you put the drifters that you are not using. Each drifter has something that they give, but they also may have a negative. You need to check if it's worth it for you to have them there. Usually it is, but for example, if I go here, physical damage bonus plus 3%, armor minus 3%, if I'm only using drifters that do magic damage, this is straight up bad to have there. So you need to read and check which ones are good for you. Then there are some that only have a positive. These ones, if you have them, just put them there. Give a little bit of a positive. The higher the tier of the drifter, the higher the bonus is. Okay, that's why this one has 8 and this one has 3, like overall, like okay. So the fabricator. Here you will do the nomad post. That's like next to respawn point. If you die, you respawn in the nomad post if it's closer, and some other stuff that doesn't really matter at all. Don't worry about none of that stuff. And also, you could build items here for protein resin and scrap iron. It's not worth at all. Never do this unless they change it. If they change it, I will pin a comment, but never do this. You make the math. You will waste so much time to make a weapon that's worth nothing. Okay. Then you have your supply depot, very important because it has your food that's manually used for PV. You will do the tier 3 food early because it's cheaper. Then if you are rich, you can do the tier 6 food, but it's way more expensive. This one no one does because it's hella expensive. But yeah, it will give you some HP increase for 30 seconds. Then you have the good stuff, the potions. The potions cost protein to make. So I'll tell you later how to get the protein in a second. But the potions are awesome. This one not so much. this one not so much, this one not so much, this one not so much. But the Titan potion is extremely good. The warding potion extremely good. The frost potion extremely good. This is good for ZVZ. And here you can also make the heartbeats that cost resin and scrap iron. And you have some other food, no one uses that. The higher tier pots of the same type that we have shown. This is for some taking harvesters and helping defending your drift marks. Don't worry about any of that. Okay, so good pods are the frost potions, and the titan potions, but all the others are usable, and this one is good for ZVZ. How do you get all this stuff? The protein and the resin and the scrap iron. The protein you need to kill. You see this, it has the same symbol. You need to kill these animals. It's either raptors or bears, and then you farm them. The scrap iron is here. You see these little things? It's the scrap iron. And the resin, you need to collect trees. You will see trees in the map. There's no trees here, but you will see them. Then the repair station. Every time you die or take damage from PvP, your gear will take damage. And also, if you are in overdrive and you die or the overdrive ends, you will take 15% damage. You'll need to come here a lot of time, just press repair all, and everything in Drifter 1 and Drifter 2 will get automatically repaired. Then the rift scanner. Here you have rifts. Rifts are like mini dungeons that you enter, and when you enter, it asks you if you want to allow other uh, hostile persons to come in. This one is different because it always opens for the hostiles. Okay, so Solar Rift, if you choose to open it to hostiles, you can go with a teammate and you fight only one hostile. 5% rifts, if you choose to open to hostiles, you can make a 5-man team and only 3 hostiles can come in. Danger rifts, it's always with hostiles and it's 1v1. When you press a danger rift, for example, it will open for you a rift around close to your drift mark and it will say where it is, and in case of the danger rifts it will also open another entrance in a close verge zone. Okay, and then the enemy will enter here in the verge. Always be careful when you are close to an enemy drift mark, because if they have upgraded the turret, when you get inside this circle, you start taking damage. Not only take damage, you get reduced armor and magic resistance, stacking up to 20 times. At 20 times, you get very, very, very debuffed. So be careful with this number. This darker green thing, it's the Warband drift mark. You should come here every day because there's huge supply that you can claim. That is bigger the more harvesters your Warband has. Here in the logistics core, it's where you come and you drop the resources, the Warband resources, which are these. You come here, you submit, batch submission, you take everything and you send it. It will give Warband medals and faction contribution. What do you do with the Warband medals? Here, the Quartermaster can trade your Warband medals for Starfall tokens, or even better, the blueprints, which are always awesome. Scar crates can also be a good investment. Also, in the middle, there's this guy. You come here, I think every day or every week. Oh, it's weekly. Weekly, and he also gives you stuff. Now, there's some other things that you get from uh, gathering that you need to take to a refinery. So you take this to a refinery, and then the refinery will tell you to export the processed materials back to your warband. How do you find a refinery? You just come to the map, and there's one, okay? It's easy to find. So you just come here, you press it, you add the refining resources, you put everything you have here, start refining, you wait a little bit. After it is refined, it will spawn a transport that you will need to protect while it gets to the warband. As you can see, we arrived. It will despawn in a second, and you get 354 warband medals and 1,700. It depends on how much stuff you put in there. Okay. Now, these are the war beasts. You need to have permissions from your warband to ride them. Each one is different, but if you get to ride one, your warband leader will explain you how they work.